Decision fatigue. It is something that so many moms continue to lament, to continue to just wish it weren't a part of their everyday lives. And yet we constantly find ourselves having to decide, should the kids have scrambled eggs or cereal for breakfast? Do I have time to braid my daughter's hair this morning? Would it be quicker to jump into the carpool line or walk the kids into school? Do I have all the ingredients I need to make the muffins I promised for the kids? How long ago did I start that load of laundry? Should I start the laundry now or wait until after I get home from work? Should I order dinner or make it? Am I really up for another bedtime battle, or should I just let the kids stay up a little bit later? The decision making is constant. It's endless and it's exhausting. So in this week's podcast episode, I'm here to help you tackle your daily decisions, to help you transform your everyday life with confidence so that these decisions feel less significant and less draining. I can't promise that we're going to decrease the amount of decisions that you have to make every day. But what I can do is help you make a shift toward making decisions with more ease and shifting the way that we think about them so that it feels more manageable, doable, and less consuming of your time and energy. If that's what you need more of in your life today, you're in the right place. Let's simplify things together. I'm Erin Christopoulos, a mother of two and teacher-turned-mom strategist who puts the pieces of mom life together so you don't have to. I get that you're short on time and don't have the capacity to figure out everything on your own, which is why I'm here to help you get clear on where to put your focus while protecting your time and energy so you can actually enjoy these years with your little ones. I'm ditching the overwhelming and unrealistic one-size-fits-all tactics and replacing them with an approach that's practical and personal, because I believe your family is one of a kind with its own qualities and values that deserve an adaptable approach, offering support and encouragement where you need it most. From honest conversations and mindset shifts to practical tips and sustainable strategies, consider this your customizable guide to mom life. With the tools and resources you need at your fingertips, you'll finally have the confidence and clarity you need to bring more intention and ease to everyday life so that you and your family thrive. This is the Mom Life Handbook. If you've been listening to Mom Life Handbook for any time now, you know that the last thing I want this podcast or platform to be is a place where we complain or focus on the negatives. I think that also at the same time, we don't need to always focus on having a positive mindset. Instead, I like to be somewhere in the middle where we're really practical and realistic about what mom life is like and how we can make realistic shifts towards an outcome that feels better for us and our families. We've already spent some time looking at where our decision fatigue comes from as moms. It's that constant thought process that's just going on in the back of our minds from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep, where we're having to make decisions about every little thing in our day. And it's hard. It contributes to our sense of overwhelm. It causes a lot of mental exhaustion. It puts us into this pre-programmed autopilot mode of being reactive, because at some point we eventually get so sick of having to make decisions that when our kids ask us to make a decision for them or a partner asks us to do thinking for them, we can just lose it, because the last thing we want to do is make more decisions than we're already having to make. And I've seen how this not only causes so much frustration in our lives, but also prevents us from making more important decisions that will actually move the needle and improve our lives as moms. And so I wanted to take some time to really get clear on how can we make decisions more efficiently? How can we shift our thinking around decision making so that it's feeling less cumbersome and something that we can start to think more positively about, because I think that there's a lot of power in being able to make decisions. And I can't tell you how many times I've seen women shy away from making decisions about change that will really make a difference in their lives because they're so caught up in focusing on the small, unimportant decisions they have to make on a daily basis. And I want to help remove that from your life, because you should be able to focus on the larger decisions in how you're living your life so that you can create the change you want to see. Now, this has been an ongoing theme in our conversation so far this year, and it's about clarity. You gotta get clear on what matters to you. I talked about it in our episode on the power of small changes. I talked about it in our episode about mastering the balancing act, and we're talking about it again today. You need clarity because without it, you lack a compass. I want you to start really focusing on getting clear on your priorities so that they can guide and streamline your daily efforts. It becomes so much easier to say, I'm not going to worry about that. I don't need to make a decision about that, because either the decision's already been made because you have clear goals or clear habits in place, or you don't need to worry about it because, again, you're clear on that's not a priority to me right now. It is so incredible how much more confidently you can say yes or no to having to make a decision when you are clear on where you are headed. For example, if you get really clear on what you want your mornings to look like, there are going to be aspects of it that you can't account for. What are your energy levels in the morning? What are your kids' moods? What's happening on the schedule that day? There's so many factors that you can't control. But if you can get really, really clear on what do I want to do in my mornings before the kids are up. Let's say, for example, that you get really clear on how you want your mornings to be, that you get clear on wanting to feel calm and relaxed. That can really help you choose how you start your day. What are the activities that are going to help you feel calm and relaxed at the moments that maybe you feel the most pressure or the most stress? So I know for me, in order to feel calm and relaxed when I'm trying to get the kids out the door, it requires that I'm ready before they're ready. I need to be fully present with them in order to support them as they learn the skills they need in order to get out the door on time, right? And if I expect that I can focus on myself while also focusing on the kids, I'm creating a sense of overwhelm and frustration for myself. So instead of trying to decide, well, how am I going to get through this morning? I get really clear on how do I want to feel and then which actions are going to help set me up for success in doing that. And then guess what? I don't have to decide what I'm doing every morning because I'm clear on how I want to feel and the actions that are going to get me there. So instead of waking up and saying, well, what am I going to do today? Should I work out? Should I just sleep in? Should I wash my hair? I'm starting my day with decisions that if I were just clear on what I want my mornings to be, I can take the actions without having to make decisions and just create the experience I want to have. Now, a word of caution, I spent a lot of time talking about how a big sweeping overhaul is not going to set you up for success. So in my example of if I want to feel calm and relaxed in the mornings, I can't just create a 1-hour morning routine for myself and expect that everything's going to fall into place. It will not. I'll set myself up for failure. So if you want to hear more about my philosophy and process around making sustainable change in your life, be sure to check out the episode on the power of small changes. I will link it again in the show notes because I walk you through that step-by-step process. But in short, the concept being, what are the ripple effect shifts that I can make that are micro changes? So maybe instead of a whole full-blown morning routine to get me in a place where I'm feeling relaxed and calm by the time I'm working with the kids, maybe my small shifts are that I wake up and have a hot cup of tea while I listen to a meditation. And then from there, I go get myself ready. That's it. That is my small shift that's intentional and is going to set me up for a calmer start to my day. No matter how I'm feeling, I'll be able to hopefully shift some of that, feel a little bit better, more optimistic, feel nice and calm and relaxed, get myself ready on my own time. And then when the kids are up and I'm making breakfast, all I'm doing is focusing on them. And guess what? Because that plan's in place, I don't have to make a decision about it. My alarm goes off, I roll out of bed, I make my tea, I turn on a meditation, I go get ready. No decisions necessary. And because it's something that's relaxing and something that I look forward to and that's filling my cup, I'm not dreading it. I'm looking forward to it. So I don't even have to ask myself, should I stay in bed longer? Well, no, I'm looking forward to this. I'm going to do it. I'm motivated and inspired to do it. So really start thinking about how you can remove some of the decisions you have to make in your day by getting really clear on what matters to you and aligning your actions to that clarity in order to have to make fewer decisions in the first place. This takes time. This takes a lot of thought and effort. So make sure that you're carving out time to really just sit with your thoughts, to journal or free write or just reflect. And again, be sure to listen to that episode on the power of small changes because I want to help set you up for success in how you make those shifts. It takes time, but it is so worthwhile because they end up being more sustainable in the end. Now, another way that you can reduce decision fatigue is to get really clear on your yeses and your nos. Sometimes decision fatigue comes because we're inefficient at actually making a decision. So when you are clear on what's going on in your day or what is a top priority, it makes it so much easier to say yes or no to the other opportunities or needs that come up unexpectedly. Whether that's someone asks you to do them a favor or you get an invitation to do something. When you're clear on what your day is going to look like and what's most important in your day, you get really clear really fast on what you can say yes or no to. So one of my favorite strategies for this is to just make sure that you start every day with a clear set of your top 3 non-negotiable priorities. These are the things that you're setting out to accomplish in your day. It's up to you how much time they take. It's up to you to decide when they take place. For me, I like to start my day with my non-negotiables so that the rest of my day is freed up for anything that might come up or what I might be interested in doing. But being clear on what is absolutely a top priority then allows you to say no to other people's requests without feeling guilty. It's okay to say to them, I'm sorry, I cannot help you with that today. I'd love to help you with it. Tomorrow I have time. Something like that is compassionate, it's supportive, but it also holds a boundary of I'm protecting my priorities. So try that strategy of just being really clear on what are the 3 tasks you've got to accomplish today. If 3 feels like too much, what's the number 1 top priority? Obviously, you have daily practices and priorities in your routines that are going to happen. Like the family's got to eat dinner every night. That's going to happen. But in addition to really your daily rhythms, what are the tasks on your to-do list that get priority? And then after that, it's up to you to decide, do I have the energy or capacity to do more? Or do I want to be done for the day? Because guess what? I've been productive. I tackled my priorities, and that feels so good. That is the decision that I think you'll feel really good about making and deciding, how do I feel? And then what do I want to do with that? So make sure that you not only are clear on those priorities, but then you also leverage that in order to protect your priorities. And I think you're just going to find that it helps you make decisions that much more quickly. And then you're going to find, again, that it just leaves that room for spontaneity and fun, which I feel like all of us need more of in our lives. And the more that we can fit that enjoyment in our lives, the more expansive our everyday lives are going to feel. And I think too, then it helps offset just how draining some of the daily decision making can be. When we can really enjoy ourselves and we have time left over for that in our day, it makes those decisions just feel a little less significant or draining, and that's expansive. And when we feel like our lives are expanded, we have a greater capacity to accommodate some things that are maybe inconveniences, like having to make decisions constantly. So if you want to transform your everyday life with confidence, you have to get clear on how you're going to tackle your daily decisions in a more effective way. When you don't, you're met with overwhelm, exhaustion, and reactivity. In order to remove that, get really clear on what matters to you in your day and use that as your compass. Use it to streamline your daily efforts in order to remove the number of decisions you need to make. Be clear on your top 3 non-negotiable priorities every day and protect them so that you have time for spontaneity and fun. I hope more than anything that simply shifting your focus to the things that really matter to you, that inspire you, that get you excited about the life you're living, helps to make your daily decisions less exhausting and more fulfilling. Remember that these changes and shifts take time, and Sometimes it helps to go back and re-listen to ideas or words that you find inspiring, because sometimes we need more processing time, and that's not a bad thing. So feel free to go back and listen to this episode again, or any other episode or that you have found helpful in the past, so that you can revisit these concepts and keep listening to them and processing them until they feel like they've settled in and you're clearer on how this actually could be playing out in your everyday life. It is totally fine for these ideas to take time. Don't feel like this is anything that happens overnight. I'm sharing my insights with you as someone who's been a mom for nearly a decade. It takes time, but I hope that by sharing some of these insights that I'm able to help speed up your progress faster than I was able to accomplish mine. In next week's podcast episode, I'll be back to talk with you about how you can start to streamline your family routines for better efficiency. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit the follow button so that that episode lands in your podcast feed as soon as it goes live. And as we wrap up this week's episode, remember, mom life is complex, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Here's to leading with purpose and intention as you simplify mom life in the week ahead. You've just finished another episode of the Mom Life Handbook podcast. Remember to check out the episode description for all the important links and highlights from today's show. While you're there, tap the subscribe button so that new episodes are always at your fingertips. Before you go, I'd really appreciate hearing your thoughts about the show. It takes as little as 30 seconds to leave a review, and your honest thoughts help me create a better show and help other moms discover it too. And if this episode really helped you out, go ahead and hit the share button to text it to a friend or share it on social media. You never know who in your life might benefit from a little extra support. Don't forget, there are lots of ways to stay connected beyond the podcast. Head over to momlifehandbook.com for additional resources or to learn about how to work with me. And be sure to follow along on Instagram at momlifehandbook. Send me a DM to say hey or to share your thoughts on today's episode. Connecting with you personally is what I really love most. And just in case you need to hear it today, you're doing an incredible job. I know it doesn't always feel like it, but you're here, learning how to be better and do better. Keep working to bring more intention and ease into your life, and know that I'm right here cheering you on. You're creating a beautiful journey for you and your family. I am so proud of you.